So, yeah. Things have been manic. They have been hellish. And I suppose they brought to a close something that's been happening for a while, which is that basically for the last few months I've sort of been ceasing to give a fuck about politics. And to be honest, that's just natural. That's part of who I am, right? You know. First I was obsessed with sharks, and then I reached the point where I basically accrued enough knowledge about sharks that I stopped being so interested in it anymore. And then it was the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and then it was website building and Triffids and Doctor Who and all these different things that have all made up part of who I am, you know, things like the Discworld and culture novels. There are things that are important to me that at the initial moment of experiencing seem like the whole world. Seem like the only thing that matters. Seem so big, so important, so amazing. And then it's gone. And it's just part of the past. It's just something that you used to do. And, you know, I still like sharks. You know, I still write about sharks. I still wrote my fucking dissertation on sharks. And, you know, obviously I still care about Doctor Who and the Discworld. Like these things, they don't go away. But they stop being the driving factor. And basically the last few weeks have sort of stripped me so bare and caused me to sort of I mean I almost like imagine it as like, you know, Janeway on the bridge of Voyager saying, you know, reroute all power to engines. I don't give a shit about life support. Let's get the fuck out of here. We can survive without oxygen for 30 seconds. Get us going, right? That's kind of what it's been like, you know, the past few weeks. It's just like, reroute everything. We've just gotta survive. And I've survived. And the hell's over. The hell is over. People are okay. And it's, you know, I am recovering. I am recovering. And, you know, in about 10 days, the cavalry arrives. In the sense that, like, in 10 days, one way or another, things that have been a problem for me that caused this hell aren't gonna be my problem in quite the same way, even if they do go back to that. So, you know, this process of, like, you know, reroute everything. it kind of killed dead my interest in politics. Just was almost with like a flick of a switch, just like, no, my mum's more important, I don't need to care about that right now. And it's like, you know, then afterwards, after, you know, my mum, after the problems stopped being problems, then after the problems stopped being problems, then it's like, okay, I'll go and I'll switch everything back on, and then it's like, no, hang on, this stasis pod, it's not working anymore. The fucks to care about this are no more. They've gone. We don't care about this anymore. And I think the thing that really sort of showed that to me was that, you know, we had the big, you know, Westminster attack on Parliament, right? And I can absolutely understand, you know, me at a certain point in my sort of politics deluge, right? If it was me, like, you know, in the middle of watching the West Wing or something, I would have been so interested in, like, how's the government going to respond? What are the implications of our revolution? And like, all I can think right now is it lasted less than 2 minutes and it killed less people than the shark in Jaws, right? And I know it was a monster shark in Jaws that was totally ridiculously unbelievable, but like, still, that's kind of what I come away with, is like, wow, that was an underwhelming terrorist attack to actually learn about in retrospect. And I think that kind of most perfectly illustrates the fact that I don't care about politics. You know, like, there's a Scottish referendum, and it's like, well, we might be starting a war with Spain, and I don't care. I just don't. Because the thing is that, like, and here I'm sort of almost reminded of how, like, as a kid, I'd get, you know, I mean, this is gross and disgusting, but fuck it. Right? It's relevant to what I'm saying here. But like, as a kid, I would get these, you know, sticks of essentially sort of like processed sausage meat called pepperoni, which is, you know, sort of like vaguely spicy sausage. Except it would have this sort of plastic wrap packaging, right? To keep it sort of, you know, fresh and stuff like that. And so, you know, I'd eat the sausage, right? You know, eat the pepperoni, and then there would just be this. Really, there is no other sort of way to describe it other than basically, like, you know, condom packaging for this, you know, spicy sausage that's like just I'm regretting the way I am describing this story, by the way, but sorry, it's because I know what comes next. So, you know, and the fact that, you know, I'd finish eating the sausage, and then I'd be left with this, you know, sort of the condom wrapping for this, you know, spicy sausage, and it's got all of the juice from the spicy sausage in it, all the juice and all the spice, and it's like I would suck on that sort of, on that covering to the pepperoni. Suddenly being very careful about my words, and I would suck on this thing just to extract the last tiny ounce of juice before I then threw it in the bin. And it's like, that's kind of what the last week was for me. Just extracting the very last amount of fucks I had to give about politics. Because basically at this point, capitalism's dead. It's just a matter of time. You know, it might not be within my lifetime, because, I mean, it's entirely possible that I might not see it through the summer still, but I mean, it's like, also, you know, it genuinely might not come about for another couple of centuries or whatever, but kind of inevitably, unless we literally have a Luddite revolution and, you know, or there is a robot uprising or something, and we effectively have a situation like in Galactica, Battlestar Galactica, where basically we outlaw computers, and so everything has to be done by manual labor again, right? Unless something that big happens and we just forbid technology, post-scarcity is inevitable. All of this screaming and shouting and fascism, neoliberalism and revolution, like it's all just the fucking goose chase. It's all just farting about in the fucking present. Because in the end of it, basically, you know, fantasy space communism is inevitable. It just is. And so, in large part, all these histrionics about, what's going to happen here, what's going to happen there, don't really matter, right? You know, we're fucked. We know this. It's just a matter of degrees, right? You know, it's, you know, even if, you know, Trump pops a nuke, or, you know, or Theresa May starts a war, like, it doesn't matter, really. You know, don't get me wrong, like, lives will be lost. But lives are being lost now. And it's like, in the grand scheme of things, I just don't find it interesting anymore. Right? You know, I was interested in politics because of how complex it was, because of how difficult it would be. You know, I mean, to a certain extent, right, Corbyn's irrelevant. You know, I was so motivated, I was so, like, yeah, socialism, yeah, we're gonna, It doesn't matter. One way or another, right, capitalism's dying. We're getting post-scarcity. It's just inevitable. It's just a matter of time. And also, as well, like, as well, on a sort of local level, sort of geopolitical, just thinking, like, okay, now, well, you know, I'm an English guy. There ain't gonna be a fucking revolution, right? And so therefore, Theresa May is only going to call an election if she thinks she's gonna fucking win it, right? That's basically it, right? You know, yeah, she has. There is a limit to when she can, you know, call the election, but basically, you know, unless we hit that, you know, crunch point, if she calls an election, she's gonna win it. You know, because why else would she call it, right? You don't call an election early if you think you're gonna lose it. So, to a certain extent, it really doesn't bloody matter what work you do on the fucking, you know, grassroots or whatever in England, because you're just gonna, it's you know, like, yeah, it would be awesome if we could, you know, convert everyone to Corbynism, and everyone's like ready for post-scarcity, and they vote in Corbyn and everything's awesome, right? But that's not gonna be for another 3 years, right? It's not gonna happen for a while, so fuck it. You know, just fuck it. There isn't the urgency. At least, not for me, you know, like, I appreciate if you live in America, or you live in France right now, or Russia or whatever, there is urgency there, but, you know, I'm an English guy. I pretty much accepted that things are just shit. And kind of, if I'm gonna have a hope in hell of surviving, I need to not have this kind of, I suppose, war mentality, and I need to start giving a shit, and not in a sort of, I need to be angry, but in the sense of, like, I need to have things worth living for. And the thing is that I have that. It's a natural part of who I am. Like, there are, you know, I have been writing distraction fics even as the hell has been going on, right? It's just a part of who I am. I lock myself away in my room and I say, no, I'm doing this because this fucking interests me. And the thing is that, like, that is something that now has been lasting with me in one shape or form for years. You know, like, I mean, I started it in 2009, so yeah, you know, like, nearly a decade. Writing has been with me in one shape or form, and, you know, bear in mind that, you know, obviously I created the Wereshots whilst I was in school, so therefore, you know, that's even longer. But yeah, writing is a part of who I am, and nerdism is too. Like, I want knowledge, I want to learn about things, I want to understand things, and there is such awesome stuff out there that I love and care about and that matters to me, and it's, I tells you, I keep having ideas for distraction fics at the moment, and it's like, I just want to write fluffy stories at the moment. I don't want to write great, dark, polemical, I just want to talk about how people are awesome and I love them, and yeah. So that's why I'm writing this kind of stuff, because the kind of person I am really has radically changed. In the sense that the things that used to drive me have radically changed. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have to adapt my my sort of story plan, I think. But that's okay. I like it this way. I like that, you know, I feel energized. I feel really, really energized. You know, I mean, reading Getting Things Done has actually helped a lot. You know, it's reminded me, hey, I've got a fucking brain. And yeah, I'm gonna be using it, and I'm gonna be solving shit, and it's like, I suppose that's fulfilled somebody's fetish. But yeah, it's like I'm living for passion and love and I see a way out of this darkness now for me. It's not gonna be easy, but I think it's possible, which is a heck of a lot better than things have been for quite some time. So yeah, I'm still, I suppose, not really doing YouTube because I don't really know what this channel is for now. Yeah. It really is, you know, the sign that I'm about to drop something if I put a massive effort into planning stuff for it. Right. Yes! Yes, I'm gonna create on a channel and I'm gonna get new and it's gonna be a thing and I'm gonna do stuff and then dead. Basically what I'm saying is, you know, people keep saying, is this video a suicide note? No, the video that's a suicide note is the video where I declare my 13-point plan of where I'm going to be in 5 years' time, right? It's when I make a video saying, whoa, I've cracked it, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. That's when it's like, okay, I'm about to stab myself in the chest and it's all going to be over. Because it's when I do planning that things fall apart. And I suppose that's really like that's the difference that Getting Things Done is teaching me, which is that Getting Things Done is not about planning. Getting Things Done is about getting things off your mind into a medium you review. Right? It is about having an external memory so that you don't have to consciously remember so much bloody stuff, right? You write it down and you review what you've written, and it's not about having grand plans of what I shall do here and there and all the bounces. It's just about it's about what's happened. It's about, I suppose, reacting properly. You know, even the plan, even the plan that he outlines in sort of, you know, the idea of natural planning, right, is reactive in the sense that, you know, he says what you do is you outline the purpose, the thing you want to do, you outline the limits, the principles that will guide it, and then you imagine what that future will look like. And so therefore you are reacting to how to make that vision a reality. It's not about how do I build a scaffold to create something from nothing. It is about writing down shit that's already happened and just making sure you follow through on it. You know, it's filling in the missing jigsaw puzzle pieces. You know, even if, you know, the missing jigsaw puzzle pieces are from an imagined outline that you drew up in your head, it's still filling in the blanks, not creating from whole cloth. And actually, that's where I suppose that's why the things I keep writing a lot are distraction fics, right? Because distraction fics are stories written because there is an idea I am reacting to, right? Because there is one idea, one scene that is just not letting go. And that's kind of the natural way to be creative and the natural way to get stuff done. And it's like, I now see this, and I now get this, and it makes sense. You don't try harder. You make it so that your natural ability to work is properly focused on the things that matter, right? And so it's not about putting the effort in. It's about knowing how much effort you have and making sure that you can do the things you have the effort for by reminding you of them when you have the effort for them. And yeah, that's mind-blowing. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna have my dinner, I think, and watch some Jonathan Creek and yeah, just chill the fuck out. Yeah. I feel good. I feel really quite fucking good, actually. Yeah. I am all blue-pilled up. Yeah. And I suppose, actually, in a sense, yeah, I've got my blue pills, the Mentos. Well, I suppose, given that essentially my new take on life is basically driven by lust and sort of creating out of the knowledge and understanding that beautiful women exist and they are wonderful, I suppose, yes, saying that I've taken the blue pill approach to life probably is appropriate in more ways than just thumbing it to the red pill idiots. Yeah. There are things in this world worth fighting for. There are things in this world worth living for. And I intend to do some living. Goodbye. I might be seeing you again, I don't know. Depends on if I figure a topic worth covering. But suffice to say, if you want to know what I think of the latest tragedy or news blah, I don't. I don't. I don't. I don't think or care about the latest news at all, really. Yeah. Goodbye. Thank you for watching my main channel. Please remember to leave a like, favourite and comment. Shout out to the dislike club. Subscribe if you like what you saw, and share if you know someone who might be interested in the contents of this video. If you would like to help ensure more videos get made, there are a few options available to you. You can whitelist this channel in your adblock software to ensure what ad revenue you provide has a chance of making its way to me. If you sign up to make a regular monthly donation through my Patreon, then you will get to watch a selection of videos available exclusively to my Patreon supporters over at my Patreon page. One-off donations are payable through PayPal, or if that doesn't suit your sensibilities, you can gift items through Steam or Amazon via my public wish lists. Obviously, I don't expect anything, and the vast majority of my videos will remain free and ad-supported. All that remains is to say Trump should be impeached, the genocidal must be stopped, and institute universal basic income now.